In this video, I'm going to show you how I layer canes to make slabs. And then at the end, I'll talk about some cabs, but mostly I just want to show you they can be layered on marbled clay, scrap clay, or they can be layered on white. I always have a translucent sheet. Otherwise, they kind of look like decals. If you've ever layered canes with a translucent background, you'll know what I mean. They can be rolled out very, very thin. We won't work on that today. They can also be put on a dark background. With a dark background, you don't even need a sheet of translucent, so I highly recommend trying dark backgrounds. This one has been layered with so many canes, it doesn't need translucent sheet because there's just so many layers. And then this other one has it's again that swirly scrap clay. This is my inspiration. This was just a practice slab, so I'll try something like this to show you. This clay has not been conditioned at all. See, that was cut straight from the block of clay. This is the best way to go if you have fresh new clay because there's no bubbles, air bubbles. Once you start to try to condition it, you have air bubbles. I place a thin sheet of translucent over a thick sheet of white and run them both through thinner and thinner settings on my pasta machine. Here are some of the canes that I will be using. Some of these may still be for sale in my Etsy shop. Let me know in the comments if you sell canes so other people can find them. I also teach how to make these on Patreon, and there's also some free tutorials here on YouTube. This is about the size that I sell them. If you buy a cane, you may need it smaller for a pattern. You can practice reducing them yourself. The canes are often used smaller than purchase. You absolutely need a sharp razor or tissue blade. If you've ever tried to cut a cane with anything that's not sharp, it blurs right away. Now for the arranging. Arranging canes is difficult in and of itself. This alone is an art form. So let's see what we can do with a pattern. This is what I want to show you. This is what most of us, this is what I didn't understand for years, is how well that can be worked into the background. If your clay doesn't work this way, it's not your fault as an artist. It means you have cheap clay or clay that is too warm or too soft, because good clay should be able to uphold all of that. See how I put another slice right over that other pattern? I'd be curious what other techniques you use. Notice how well it stands up to me rubbing my finger over, getting out scrapes and bubbles. I'll add this little guy. I love these. These are fun. There's so much translucent in the background that they make a very airy look. One thing I really love about making these bouquets is I think it's important to have, I've got long ones, round ones, like sprays of flowers. It's the variety, I think, that makes these beautiful. If your canes are old or cold or been sitting out, you'll need to warm them up so they're about the same consistency as the background. I work from the outside in. Sometimes I'll work all the way around the edges and come closer and closer in. This one's more of a bouquet that goes top to bottom, so all of the stems will come down at a center. But knowing which canes to place first is important. If you are making a wildflower field, definitely work top to bottom. Here I'll add some smaller little flowers, accent flowers. And again, part of this video, the whole point is to show how well you have to work those in. Keep going until there's no seams visible at all. If you hold it up to the light, it should be shiny in a way that you can't see where the cane has touched the background. It takes some work, and sometimes you have to press quite hard, but if you're careful, you can do so without distorting the pattern. By the way, if you pick it up off your surface, scrape it off. Don't just pull it like I did. It was not a good idea. It usually rips. Okay, I'm adding some dark leaves here because I'm going to show you a marine style cane. This is, most of you already know how to do this, but I'm just going to show it again. These, like I said, these absolutely have to have something dark, almost always have to have something dark behind it. That's why I added those purple flowers. This is how they look if you don't do the special technique. They'll just, and they look cool this way. Lots of people use them this way. They can be really fun, like a stencil. But you'll notice that's not how they look on the bracelets and things when I make them. What I do is I gather them together as if the petals are coming out from the center. And the nice thing about this is you can cut any size you want. If you cut a nice thick size, then you flatten it, kind of spreading out the petals while you flatten it. See, the back looks different. You have to be very gentle. This will smear. If the clay is too soft, this part will smear. So this takes some practice for sure. Place that right in there. And honestly, I'm not sure if I like this on this pattern. I liked the bouquet before, but I just really wanted to show you how that one works. So it's flat. If you see those on my cabs and things, they look three-dimensional, but they're really flat. I know a lot of artists who don't even bother rolling it in, so it's okay. You can use these canes however you want. If you want to make slabs with a lot of dimension, that works too. And if you don't mind the decal look, that's also okay. I just know that I've been posting pictures of these, and a few of you wanted to know some details about how I achieve the look that I personally am after. Here I want to show you what it looks like on dark clay. And this slab can be used for lots of things. I'm going to show you one way to make a cabochon. I happen to have the perfect amount of scrap there for the base. I think there are lots of good molds for this. I haven't figured out how to get this into a mold without air bubbles, so if you know about that, let me know. I'm not very picky about the shape. I think it looks kind of natural and handmade. But you do want to smooth the back. Now what really surprises me about these is, again, how forgiving they are, at least the pattern itself, if you have cold hands like me, I guess. I could change that shape quite a bit. And also what I'm doing here is working in the pattern even more. I'm smoothing out. Eventually I will wipe away all the fingerprints, which is quite important. Let it set before this next part. It needs to cool off. There are many ways to use cabs. If you do want to insert a eye screw, then you'll need a lead hole first. You can't just screw something into the clay. At least in my experience, it always cracks. So that's, first I put a pin, then I put this paper clip. The paper clip happens to be just smaller in diameter than my eye screw. I bake it with the paper clip in it, just like that. This one's already baked. You could drill a hole after it's baked. If you want it extra shiny, I sand it from 1000 grit all the way to 2000 grit. Sometimes you even have to start with 600 grit. Check out this Dremel tool. I love it. I had no idea that this would create the final shine. My favorite. Here I have a teeny tiny ice screw. And somebody tell me what that extra clasp is called. Those roses, by the way, will be on Patreon. This one, see how it cracked? That's because I can't use this one unless I do something dramatic. So this one already has a good thick hole. I love this Loctite super glue gel. It seems like you could just twist the screw right in there. I've been told that it kind of works its way out. I'm hoping it works well with this gel. Oh, sorry, it's out of the frame. It's a little messy. I put a big glob on there. Well, not a big glob. And oh, I am so sorry I got out of the frame. I hope you get the idea of what I'm doing there. It's important that I position that just right so that it will hang nicely. I am not an expert on this stuff. I just wanted to show you what I've been doing. So if you want to buy some canes, this is about the size. They're smaller than you might think. And now that it's summertime in Tucson, Arizona, I have been wrapping them in this heat-resistant bubble wrap. For those of you who aren't already patrons, you can find me on Patreon or my rock canes on Etsy. Again, if you sell canes, feel free to add your link